How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Mike here. This is my oasis where I get in front of a camera and talk to you about whatever I want. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of how I lost everything. If you've been following me, thank you so much. But I really wanted to make this video for other entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs out there to share my story of my failures, because I've had quite a few, but I'm gonna tell you of a particular one. Also, reason why I'm making this video is this is actually my 5th year anniversary of one of my biggest failures ever in business. I thought it was important to share the story. If you follow me from Mojo Grip, you may have heard of this story before, but I'll be a little bit more detailed in this version. If you followed my journey, I did well in my early 20s as a digital marketer and as a web developer. And I had done well from, I would say, my late teen years to mid 20s. And I was able to afford more things or enjoy the fruit of my labor, as they say. But really, all of that didn't last too long. And I'll tell you why. So when I first exited out of my gaming websites back in the day, I jumped into content marketing, or what you call traffic arbitrage, and then I exited that as well. And that exit wasn't actually intentional. It was because I was getting ready to build this massive company. At least that was the thought in my head. I was building a startup. It was a video streaming startup, and I wanted to basically create a Netflix for Nollywood movies, and it would be like a subscription business model, right? So it would be a monthly thing where you come in, we basically license movies from producers and directors, and then we'll put them out on this platform, which was really cool. We had the website, the mobile apps, and all the jazz, and then we charge a monthly premium for access to those content. It was exciting, very exciting at first. I had mentioned, actually, I moved to Los Angeles at this point with my then fiance, and I thought Los Angeles had all of the proper resources that I needed to jumpstart this thing, because if you go to Los Angeles, you have Hollywood, you basically have talent and people who are directors, producers, camera crew, all of that good stuff. So I thought I'll tap into that. And so when I got to Los Angeles, after we got our first apartment, I decided to start hiring. And so I set up a team of about 10 people, and everything was going good. Now, given that with this startup, I was funding everything out of pocket, which I would not advise anybody to do, and that would be later in the video where I talk about the lessons that I learned through this process. I hired a team of people. We bought a bunch of equipment. We had a plan, a strategy, everything. I worked with developers to get the mobile app ready for this, and also we had a website, and everything was going good. But eventually, the overhead costs to run this gig just started getting more and more. What I did then was, every time we ran into any type of issues, I would just use money to solve it, because there was money available. So I'm like, okay, we got an issue, we got to launch, we can't have anything delay the launch of this beautiful, amazing product that we've created. So what's it gonna cost? Boom, we throw cash at it. Hopefully that solves the problem. And I just kept going and going and going and going until I ran out of cash. Literally, I ran out of money. And it's so crazy to me when I think about how everything happened, and it happened really fast, guys. This was within a year. So if you followed my journey, I've been quite successful with my previous gig, and so with all the money that I made from that, I basically threw it into this thing, which I imagine would become big one day and will make multi-millions of dollars, and I'll be able to cash home and get ready for my next gig. Because that's just how it goes, right? As an entrepreneur, more particularly as a tech entrepreneur, you create companies and then you exit. But here are the real numbers when it comes to having a tech startup. I believe 99 or 97% of all startups fail. That's just the cold-blooded truth. So if you're on this path, just understand what you're going to be coming against. And I was one of those startups that failed, and failed miserably, because I not only ran out of money, I also was already into debt. There was so much going on and things happening so fast that I didn't even realize when it was the end road. Well, actually I did. I saw the writing on the wall, And eventually I had to let go of everyone, but I was happy that I was able to go through a process where I let people know ahead of time, like, hey, well, it doesn't look like things are going to be good. And I did also try to raise some money towards the end there. We got close to a few things, but it never really happened. And the truth of the matter was that I wasn't even confident to take on other people's money when I was looking at what the market was doing. And truth be told, what I saw happening was, one, more competition came in. And it wasn't just more competition. YouTube was the biggest competition, in the sense that the same producers that we were licensing our content from, they would go behind our backs and then upload the same content for free on YouTube. And you really cannot beat that. And so I saw a lot of that happen, and I thought to myself, there's no way you can compete with that. So long story short, a lot of money, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands gone into this, and there was no light at the end of the tunnel. And I saw it, and it hurt like hell to close shops, to let people go. Felt like my baby. This was my baby before I had my baby. And I had to close shop and basically spend the year after that just not having a sense of direction. This time around, I was like really down, depressed almost. And this is more common than you know. A lot of entrepreneurs, especially the successful ones that you see today, chances are they've been through some dark times, and this was mine. Eventually, after I closed shop, also, if you saw my video where I talked about moving out of Los Angeles, this was one of the reasons. After my startup failed, and I pretty much didn't have a good source of income anymore, because I basically took my eye away from what I was really doing to make money and make most of my income then, and just laser focus on this thing. And I thought, you know what, I'll live on my savings until this picks up. And I was living on my savings for a good bit there, but savings ran out because I spent just about every penny on this startup. And so I closed shop, sold a bunch of equipment, sold property, and by properties I mean just toys, cars, motorcycle, things like that. And also I realized that just Los Angeles, the energy for me wasn't there. And what I mean by that is I went to LA as a successful person, right? So I had done well where I was in New York. And what I took for granted was the fact that I had a good community of other entrepreneurs, of advisors and things like that in New York. But in LA, I didn't have that. So that's something I would seriously think about if you are trying to embark on a similar journey. If you're in a place where you've cultivated a good culture there, and you have people who truly support you, may not necessarily be in the same business or industry that you're in, but if you have other entrepreneurs around you who support things that you're doing and y'all are able to support each other, do not take that for granted. So this took me through a few years of just nothing. You know, when you lose that bat in your business, and this wasn't just a business. Again, as an entrepreneur, you're trying to create something, and you don't necessarily look at it as a business. It's what you woke up to every single day. At least that was me. I woke up to do this every single day for a period of almost 2 years, and when the switch went off, it was like, okay, what do I do now? For a while there, I was a mess, and I'm so grateful, one, for my wife now, because she was with me through the whole thing, and she supported me, and she helped even with the bills back then, where I had no idea what I wanted to do until I started picking up, just feeling better again. This will happen if you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking big and you're trying to solve a big problem. This may happen to you, and it's more common than you think.